Alright, here's a video showing what I've been doing for the last month, except working. Oh, there's my light. So, instead of work on this bike, I've been just doing with other stuff. It's 3 in the morning right now. It's 60 degrees in here. Out here, it's a little cooler. I was out there a few minutes ago. So, I've just been recovering from being a little sick from COVID and flu and whatever else we got. Who knows what the hell it is. I'm just basically sleepy all the time, so I sleep a lot. So that's pretty much where I've been at. My throat's a little sore, but it's been sore for years, so it's different there. So I pretty much just walk around my bare feet like that. Down there, letting my feet heal up. My toes aren't numb like they used to be, so that's a big plus. So I've been out of boots for a couple months. Does wonders. So everybody pissing a lot about how cold it is, and I can't take cold. Well, short sleeve, 50-something degrees outside, didn't bother me. Been out here for an hour right now. I've been working on my airline stuff, trying to get new fittings and valves for everything. Spent a lot of time ordering up parts, been waiting for them to come in. So I'm just going through my mess of crap that's come in. So basically got a bunch of valves and fittings and stuff to plumb up the shop here. Got some fancy manifolds here that we're going to use. These ones I got off of eBay. I got 3 more coming from, I don't know, Topeka or Amazon. I like Topeka. They seem to have a lot of good stuff when they have it. That's this place here. So they have a pretty good list of stuff. They don't have anything in stock right now like everything else. They say they got it and they don't. So these are basically manifolds. You take out the regulator here, you put a manifold in here, and then you have multiple airline connections. And I'm going to run a hose across the door down to my grinder over here, the welding area. I'll put another manifold up under the bench under here, and I'll have 4 lines coming out so I can work all my die grinders with. Under here, I'll have a whole bunch of those. I have a bunch of hoses that come up from underneath so I can just do stuff easily. I got a regulator and oiler here to lubricate my fittings, my grinders. So this is the regulator is here. There's a gauge that goes out here that will tell you what the pressure is regulated to. You got an oiler right here. You put oil in here. So I'll put some Tribodyne air tool oil in there. And this is supposed to be a water separator. It'll never work. But. So I'll oil it, that way my air tools will be getting oil to them. Crap in the way. So that's these things. So instead of me manually putting oil in there, it'll be better. You can see how loose they get. Eventually they wear out. These are all getting worn out. Been using them for years, so. We'll put some oil in them. Usually I just oil them when I think about it. So, anyways, a whole bunch of this stuff like this I've been ordering up. Got some new airline here. Cubraflex from Melton. So this is supposed to be some good stuff. Super flexible and all that kind of crap. I don't know. Maybe I got a tripod near me. How did that happen? I must knew I wouldn't work over here. Either I was out of the way over here. So I don't know how good this stuff is. You pretty much buy stuff. You read all the reviews. Yeah, not reviews. I read the technical stuff. I look at reviews a little bit, but I don't really take much stock in reviews. I pretty much look at how things are made. If you don't know what the hell you're reading, you go investigate what the key words mean. And you figure it out. That way when you buy something, hopefully it's a good part on the first shot and not a piece of crap like you normally get these days. So this is supposed to be highly flexible, relatively lightweight, so when you put a die grinder on here it's easy to work like this with your die grinder. Seems to be pretty flexible. That's good. This is 3/8 hose, so it has large airflow, which I like, even though I'm going to regulate the airline down to nothing. I could have went with 1/4 inch line, but The problem is when you're buying a bunch of fittings, you got to make a decision. 1/4 inch, 3/8, high flow, standard flow. And I decided to go on high flow on everything and not 1/4 inch and mix and all that. So I ordered up a bunch of stuff. So anyway, this stuff looks pretty good. I don't know how good it is, but it looks decent. So you take this, you cut it, and you put fittings into it, adapter pieces or repair pieces, whatever you want to call them. Most of the stuff I bought is Milton. So there's your fitting. So when you cut the air hose off, you plug this in. This is supposed to be clampless, so you plug it in. I got a tool where you put a couple wraps of safety wire on it and spin it tight. And I'll use that. I got to find my tool though, but that way you don't have a big stupid clamp and all that sticking out. I'll cut this stupid plastic thing off because it just gets in the way. Ideally, you don't want a bunch of crap hanging out here to hurt yourself. Stupid plastic crap here. I don't know why they put all this junk on there. There you go. That's a fitting. So this is basic push lock. You push it on, and the way the barb's made, it's really sharp. It bites in hard. So when it's all installed, you'll have a nice flush in. This stupid piece of rubber plastic thing here is supposed to keep the hose from bending there. The problem is when you're using it, it gets in the way. I'll probably cut that off. Or slide it off. Oh, there's how you do it. You go like that. See, now this is out of the way. So when you work in the airlines, it's a little more freer. Now you can put some shrink tubing over this so it doesn't hurt you too bad. This is a nice crimp, so it's not too sharp. Good high quality piece. So you try to buy quality stuff so when you have it, it's decent. So you don't want a bunch of crap sticking out here like this when you're using your airline like this. It doesn't dig into your hand. Because when you're porting for hours doing grinding and stuff, it wears on your hands. So, you know, this stuff is nice, but I'll put it on something else. Probably not here. So anyway, I got a bunch of these. I bought some 1/4 inch ones because I do have some 1/4 inch lying around here that I got to use for other things. So basically I spent hours and hours and hours in the middle of the night, like now 3 a.m. I'm wide awake. I investigate what I can get, and figure it out, kind of make a mental note of what I'm doing, figure out you got to lay out all your fittings and buy all the appropriate stuff, and eventually it comes in over a month. So you're down for a month. So this is the old way of doing stuff I had before. So these are your high flow fittings here. These are standard flow on top. This is 3-way here that sticks out in the way. So your hoses kind of stick out in your way a little bit. These workbenches have plumbing up underneath under here, which I don't know if I'll use. I don't know if you can, there's no place you can see. Maybe you can see it if I go this direction, I don't know. You see the hose right under here, tubing. So these are pre-plumbed up under here. So whether I can make that stuff work or not, that's what these airlines under here are for. They're already plumbed. So I'll probably try to plumb that in. The inlet's way down here at this end, so I'll have to do that. But I got to change out all the fittings up there to the common styles I'm going to use. So I decided to go with this style of fittings here, which is your Milton high flow. Purple is the high flow, so that means you have a big ass hole through it. This is your red ones, which I had a bunch of these I bought. These are standard flow, so the hole that goes through them is small. Where is my airline fitting? Here it is. So that's standard flow, and this is high flow. So even a blind man can see the difference between those two. So when you're running your big air gun like this, and you got a low flow fitting on it, you don't get much flow out of it. So it cuts down how much air gets in here, which cuts down how much power you get. When you run your big ass air gun, like this one, then you definitely want to have a high flow fitting on it to feed it. But you also have to feed the whole system. You can't just put a big fitting on the end and say it's done. So I have a high flow hook up right here, and I got standard flow on this hose here, because this hose has standard flow fittings on it. So I have another airline around here that has the high flow fitting on it. So I just plug that right in there, and this comes off a piece of 1/2 inch pipe, so it's got 1/2 inch hole through it. That'd be high flow. This here is probably about a 5/16 hole. So I'll be switching all my tools over to the high flow end. The problem is they back ordered the pack of those, and 3 10-packs of these. They back ordered them. So what good is it? Got no parts again. So I got a bunch of manifolds and fittings that are coming in, but I got no parts. There's a bunch of stuff down here. So you gotta buy a bunch of fittings here, a bunch of adapter stuff. Got a bunch of air valves. I'm gonna have valves on everything. I decided to go with stainless steel valves. You had to pick which China brand you want to get. So these are the valves. You get ball valves. Because ball valves are high flow. So, see, that's a big ass hole through there. It's a 1/2 inch hole through there. So even though the valve is relatively small, it's pretty high flow. So basically all the valves in the shop are old and they leak. So I'm tired of dealing with leaking parts. These regulators leak. So when I put these new manifolds on there, here, these have new regulators on them. So hopefully they don't leak. So this one's going to wind up being over here. And then down here I'll have another one on the head machine down here. See, all this stuff is sitting in the shop, but it's not hooked up, so I can't do any work right now. So I'll put a manifold in the back of this thing, because this one leaks like a sieve. So I'll replace that. I'll put a manifold there, put a oiler and all that there. So I'll have hoses and stuff for over in this area here, coming off that manifold, which is regulated air. I'll drop it down to this one on the head machine. I think was regulated to 80 pounds. And I'll have to have a valve coming out of a hose coming out of here to run my big valve spring compressor, which is right back there. Because I got to regulate that down to 80 pounds. You put 180 pounds to that, and you're going to have blown parts. So over in here, I'll have a regulated air source, not a full air. If I want a full airline, though, there's an air valve right there. I'll probably put a triple fitting in that off to the wall and do that. I bought a bunch of little short manifolds, so I'll probably put them in separate locations so we have airline connections. So we have regulated air on this over in this area, and we'll have full air over there. So depending on what I'm doing, you know, if I need a high source airflow like an air gun over here, I'll have that. If I want to just blow some stuff off, I'll have a low flow. So, and hopefully nothing will leak. I still got to fix that. I have not touched that yet. So all of this stuff is here, but see, it's all in the middle of the walkway. Electrical connections. This power strip's real nice, but it pops the damn circuit when you turn the oil grinder on. It's too much load. So I got a lot of issues. I still got to deal with electrical yet. So all this stuff kind of works, but not really good. Back here, I'm going to replace all these air valves. Going to replumb all this stuff. So this is the small valve, which will replace this one over here, because this one leaks like a sieve. Which means it doesn't shut the airflow to the tank off. I got big valves. I got new ones of these here also to replace those two, because this one here leaks going to that tank. You'll lose half the air pressure. Excuse me. This thing will hold back about 60, 80 pounds for a few days, and then drops to zero eventually. This one here, this one seems to work pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and put a new one in there, I think. That goes to my V-blaster over here. The inside the motor up in here, it leaks through the valves up here. It leaks air through, which is coming off of the tank here, and it goes right into the machine. So I probably need to put a valve into this here to shut the airflow off. But that's really dangerous, because if you turn this thing on and that's shut, you will break that. So I don't like doing that kind of stuff. So I'll probably refrain from doing that until it's absolutely necessary. And I'll have to put a valve right here next to my switch. So when I turn that switch on, I'm going to turn that damn valve on. That's very dangerous to do stuff like that. That's the same crap you do on a Harley when you get tired of wet sumping. You put a valve on your oil feed line to your motor, and you forget to turn that thing on when you run your motor. It's hard on the motor. So I really don't like doing stuff like that. So these valves here are relatively small. Like I said, they go right down there. So these are theoretically rebuildable. These ones here are rebuildable too, but you can't get parts for them, so what good are they? That's how rebuildable works these days. So anyway, we got that there. We got a hose going up under there. We'll probably eliminate that one. I'm going to put a manifold back in the back corner over here, which you can't really see right now, but up here there's electrical. There's an air fitting way up there, that red one. I'll put a manifold there and have 4 lines coming out. And there's an electric box in the back corner over there also. Over there, which I'll run power out of that. And I'll run that, a couple extension cords out of there going over to here. So I got power to my machine and power to everything up on the table here. And eliminate that one that goes across the room there. Kind of a safety hazard thing. So anyway, that's the plan, all this stuff. I'm going to put a 3-way valve over here, coming out of here. So I got a line for here and a line for over there for blowing off stuff. I got a bunch of lines that have broken ends and stuff on them. So this is the 1/4-inch stuff here. So this is all the hybrid stuff. I spent a lot of dollars on fittings over the years trying to get stuff that doesn't leak, but it always leaks. I'm hoping this new stuff doesn't leak too bad, but I'm sure it will. So all this upgrade on the plumbing and stuff, probably about $1,200. Yeah, probably about that much. So I'm going to start working here pretty soon. I keep spending all my money and not getting any work done. That's a problem. So anyway, that's what's going on around here, is just doing a bunch of worthless stuff that doesn't really matter, but it's all part of making the shop work. I like to get this airline up in the air higher so it doesn't hang down so low. So I want to put this up over here, about where that hand mark is up there on the wall. That's a good hand mark. It's about where it would have to be. So that way the line would be down toward the center of the shop and up high, so when I go all the way down to the machine, I'm not stretching this thing out tight. So right now it's closer to the wall this way than it is that way, so it needs to be more in the middle of the shop. Also, when I move that over, I'll be able to put a nice big shelf unit right through there, like this one here. So I'll get a good shelf put over here. That'll allow me to put more crap up in over there out of the way. The more shelf space you got, the more room you get in the shop. So as you can tell, I got a lot of shelf space. It's all over the place. Every wall's full of shelves. And my floors are empty. See, that's how you do it. Things go on the wall, not on the floor. See that stuff on the floor? It needs to go somewhere else. It's going to go on a shelf somewhere. Yeah, that's not a Coven cough. That's my regular cough. So, like I said, the Coven just makes me tired, I think. Now, the only reason I think I got COVID is because everybody in the damn country is getting COVID, and eventually I'll get it too, but I don't know. It's not even as much of the flu to me, it just makes me sleepy, so who knows. I was told by somebody they get sleepy when they got it, so maybe it's the same thing. So anyway, next week or so I'll be going on this valving and stuff. I'll be working a little bit, but this stuff is like another month, 2 months out before I get my fittings in, so I can't get too carried away. So I'll be back on this here, hopefully this week, but this week's just about done, so shortly. Gotta get this bike finished, so get back to doing stuff. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks since I've done anything. So I've been doing other stuff too. So anyway, that's where we're at on this. So, I haven't died yet. Still working. Just doing what I do. So, it's only 60 here. It's colder upstairs. But I'm not a pussy. I work in the bare feet, even in the 50s. All right, I'll be back. We'll go upstairs next.